Hey everyone, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Keanvenient Truth. So
Another fantastic time.
Another
We've been
fantastic
a
time.
little delayed on our podcast here, but we've been trying to find a good day to do it. It's looking like it might be Wednesdays now.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It really is dependent on mood. It's dependent on my mood.
Oh my god, everything depends on This whole podcast depends on your mood.
This whole podcast depends on what kind of day I had at work. If it's like a super back-to-back day and a lot going on, then the answer is no. I can't mentally give you any more than what I have already done between the hours of 10 and 6. So Wednesday just works out because, I don't go in until later and I'm okay.
That is what it is. Right?
Yep. So what's up? What do you have for us? I don't have anything, so.
Oh, now all of a sudden, now it's me? Okay.
I have not prepared.
All right, well, we'll get right into it. It's a little UFC information.
Nothing about Kanye West. If I hear,
No.
I swear to God,
But he's got a lot of great new songs that I want to show you guys, but
I can't.
On another episode, I guess. BJ Penn, who you know, right?
Oh yeah, I heard of this.
Yeah, apparently he's saying that his family has been replaced with imposters. Now, it sounds crazy, but I did a little.
Family has been. Hold on. UFC Hall of Famer BJ Penn arrested Friday in Hawaii, his third arrest in 6 days in relation to his ongoing claims that his family has been replaced with imposters. So this is interesting.
Let me go
down
into
several routes with this.
Well, let me go into it first.
Okay.
Apparently, this is, and I've hit my sister up. My sister lives in Hawaii, so I'm trying to see if this is a thing. But it apparently has happened in a way. Mm-hmm. Meaning, I guess people steal other people's identity so that they can take the inheritance, and this has a lot to do with BJ Penn's mom. Apparently, they have some money, and something along those lines where it's possible. Not saying. I mean, it seems like BJ has been on a rampage lately, so
something's going on. It's his third arrest in 6 days. So that to me already sends huge red flag of there's something clearly going on then within this individual that's contributing to his third arrest in 6 days. What gets me with this statement, and I don't know how he said it, is family has been replaced with imposters. That to me is concerning in terms of okay, are you saying that they've actually been replaced? You're telling me then that the people who you have right now as your family are actually not your family. They're actually someone else, but they look like your family. If that's the case, and it's his third arrest in 6 days, I'm going, can we check his mental state? Did he do drugs? Is he on a substance-induced psychosis? Is there mania? Is there this? What's going on? Because third arrest in 6 days, and then to have that statement, my family's been arrested with imposters, is very, that doesn't just strike me as identity fraud. No, that strikes me as there's some stuff going on, unfortunately, and I hope that they get to the bottom of this. But I also don't know how he said it.
Right.
I don't know if the media is using the word imposters because that sounds really
This is what I'm saying. That is a thing. But I mean, obviously, if you physically think like, oh, that's not my mom, and it actually is your mom, but you're thinking that it's somebody disguised as your
that
mom,
there's
like
someone
an
else.
imposter. That's when you're a little out
we
there.
have a big issue. I'm still thrown off by the third arrest in 6 days. I will say that. That's no one just
Apparently
gets arrested. No one just gets arrested in 6 days, and it's their third arrest in 6 days with something not going on. You know,
Right.
like there's something happening.
Apparently, there's something going on with that.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Yeah. Another thing I thought was pretty cool. So, by the way, sorry for TikTok. We can't show video on there because we're doing it on a separate screen. Just FYI.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But for everybody else, we have streaming, sharing thing. Anyways, yeah, this barber, I don't know where he is, but he cuts kids' hair and he gives them $3 for every story that they read while he's cutting their hair.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, that's like really like.
Oh, he's in Pennsylvania.
Oh yes.
Pennsylvania barbershop boosts kids' confidence by paying young customers $3 to read stories aloud during haircuts, deserving endless retweets. That's amazing.
Right. I thought that was cool.
That is amazing. See, there's positive things happening in this world, guys.
Oh,
there's cool things like that happening.
Yeah, and that's just like a great like thing to kind of. All right, the kid's sitting there anyways. All these other barbershops, they give the kids candy or whatever, and they're just like whiling out. This is like kids want to read. Most kids actually want to read, I think, and want to do like.
Most kids do actually
love reading. Learn. They want to learn, you know.
They do want to learn. They're like craving to learn.
But we don't give them enough. I don't think.
Well, no, everything's like, oh, you got your hair cut. Yay, fun. Here's a candy. Everything's fun. Here's gum.
A cupcake or let's go out to go eat this special treat and get some ice cream.
I will say though, I'm glad that this is why I've talked about this before in the podcast. I follow this Global Positive News, and they're the only news that I follow, and it's amazing because it's stories like that on there. You know, just all around the world that no one's going to know anything about because the news doesn't fucking talk about anything, I don't know, wonderful or nice or positive. So it's like, how do we know? So if I'm following just the news and fucking all the other bullshit on social media, then my God, this world is like fucking like this. It's like hell for people that like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
yeah, that's all.
I feel like it's like, if that's the case. But man, this Global Positive News really makes me like, that's so great. Actually, you know what? Let's see what Global Positive News said today. Because they always have a feature. Global Positive News. What's going on today? Daytime naps slow the brain aging by up to 6.5 years based on a recent study. You
recharging. Lots of recharging.
I can't nap.
You choose not to.
No, it's not a choice.
I can't. I've seen you nap before.
When have I napped?
You've done it before.
When out of the 8 years or whatever that we've been together have I actually napped?
I don't remember the specific time, but I know that you did. It was probably when you were like kind of
sick.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only time. Other than that, I cannot nap. Maybe if it's like raining outside prior to me having a kid and it was all just gloomy and rainy in Florida and it was like, you know, like that, maybe, possibly. But even then, I'll be tired as hell and still just binge watch something, you know? Like, and if it's sunny outside, there's no way I could nap. My brain is just immediately like, bing, it's nice outside. You have to be up doing something.
Really? Even in like Florida?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I used to love taking a little nap in Florida when it was like too hot outside. Just kind of have this.
That's because the heat made you you literally were this like tired, miserable person in the heat. That's what you wanted to do with sleep.
I think it was an overdose of vitamin D. That's what it was. Because I was taking vitamin D and we were living in Florida.
Why would you take vitamin D and live in the sunny state? And have vitamin D every day, all day?
So this was
I didn't even know that you were taking vitamin D.
On understanding like the dosing on vitamin D, and now I know.
But you still get tired and like
I don't. When time?
in the cold. If it's cold, you're like, ugh.
I still don't like the cold.
It really doesn't matter what you do, to be quite honest. I feel like any weather will contribute to something.
Like I've got my shit locked down, I think now, because I do the B complex. Because I am deficient in my B vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I don't eat enough meat. I red meat. Like I mean, you might be deficient as well.
With vitamin B?
Yeah. Do you get tired like in the afternoons? Get a little like, I need a little pick me up or something?
Well, this is the thing. It's hard to tell. I mean, Monday through Friday, I'm always tired in the afternoons. By 2:00, I can literally fall asleep in a session.
That could be B12 or B
like
complex.
I mean, like hard. Like I feel myself. Like I hear everything that the person's saying. Actually, one of my patients came in the other day. It was like 2-3 o'clock, and I was snacking because I always snack in the afternoon, especially when I'm tired. And she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "I'm tired. That's why I'm snacking." And she's like, "Wait, what do you mean?" I'm like, in order for me to really like break through this tiredness right now, I have to be eating something.
Now, have you noticed, because I know that you do take my B vitamins sometimes, do you get like that on those days as well?
B vitamins? What B vitamins?
Like the liquid one that I have in the fridge.
Oh, sometimes I take that, but that's for energy. It does nothing for me.
You still get tired in the afternoon?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Anyways, that was my problem. I don't get tired in the afternoon anymore if I take my B vitamins in the morning.
No, yeah, the B12 does nothing for me. I feel like I need like an injection of the B12. And
you might be really low because there are a lot of B vitamins in red meat, and you don't eat red meat at all.
Mm-mm.
I eat it maybe once a month or so. And
can you turn the sound off on that or what?
Oh my god, does that bother you? It's like,
well, it's like ding,
barely anything.
Ding. If it's your sister, it's going to be a lot.
That's true. She's probably listening. I just set that little tone this morning too, because I was like, oh, I'd like to have a little sound on there, a little, and then now I don't know how to fix it. So.
All right, we'll forget it. So anyway, yeah, global positive news. What do you got?
Well, she's responding about this BJ Penn thing.
Oh, BJ Penn. That's the news that she sent you.
Yeah, so that's this. Again, amid family concerns. I mean, she's not really telling me anything. She just keeps sending me stuff.
Oh, but who has time to read all that right now?
Not people in a podcast. He's asking for specifics.
Here it is, all in one from local news. Thank you.
Oh, maybe it's a video. Hold on, let me see if this one. Is it?
Nope.
Hold on. Sometimes it takes a second. There.
Former UFC.
There we go. We'll play this.
Arrested again. Let's see what it says.
Hold on. I gotta change the screen share.
What is all this that has to be done? This is wild.
Yeah, a lot of behind the scenes stuff happening here, Aaliyah.
Jeez.
You don't know anything about it. Okay. It says it's playing, but it's not.
Former UFC star BJ Penn was arrested yesterday for the third time in 6 days. The 46-year-old was first arrested on May 25th for allegedly assaulting his 79-year-old mother by taking her mail, shining a flashlight in her eyes, then shoving her into a vehicle. The next day, he was arrested again for violating a stay-away order by entering her home. And officers arrested Penn for the third time yesterday after he missed a court hearing, thus violating his bail terms. He claims he has COVID-19 and he's out on $2,000 bail, but is due back in court on Monday.
Let's see.
Oh my God.
So still told us nothing.
Told us exactly what we already told you.
Just read. Like, what about the imposter part? Like, what about my family isn't like our imposters?
It'll be a forever mystery now, I guess,
Jesus.
unless you do some research, I guess. I don't know. But no, I did a little bit of research, and there is something, but I guess that is something that happens everywhere. But it's like, people steal their identity to, obviously steal inheritance or whatever. But like,
I understand that.
It sounded like he was like physically looking in her eyes to see if she was like the right person.
And then he shoved her into a car and all these. So there's something going on.
Oh man, that guy, he once ran for governor of Hawaii.
Good, really?
That was just 6 months ago, probably.
Oh my God! Wow.
Well, poor BJ Penn. He'll be all right.
So, what else is in exciting news?
Nothing really. I mean,
you haven't. I thought that this was the stuff that you do. You look up stuff all the time.
Yeah, you want me to tell you? There's like a lot of cool Kanye stuff.
No, I don't want to talk about Kanye.
Oh, well. Can I play one song?
No.
Can we play one song every episode?
No. Please.
You're gonna love it.
I don't care if I'm gonna love it.
Why?
Because I'll just listen to it in my car.
No, but you don't. You never do. And then you're like, "Oh, what's that?" And like,
I would much rather want to talk about how your cold plunge was.
Oh, right. We could talk about that. Yeah. It was an experience because this is the first time so ended up going to Florida for the weekend, hang out with my buddy David, and he had set up this whole event at his house with this guy who has this like mobile sauna and cold plunge. And it was a good turnout. It was all a group of guys, met some amazing dudes. The cold plunge experience this is my first time like in the ice,
like ice
cold
not
plunge.
Just right, not just like 50 degrees cold water. It's like 8 bags of ice.
Yes. So it was like probably 40 degrees, maybe
probably even lower. I would say
could be a little lower. I wasn't the first one in. I was the second or third. So it kind of warmed up a little bit by the time I got in there. But
wait, somebody else was in there?
Well, there's only 2 baths, so it's like
there was just 2 of them.
Turns.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like 2 at a time, but yeah, it was like usually I can do it and I'll get in and it's just like an uncomfortableness and you're just cold. And then after like the first like minute and a half, 2 minutes, like you just get into the zone. And then by the 3rd minute, you're like, I could stay in here for another 10 minutes, really.
Yeah.
You know? But this is like a whole other animal where my wrists and my ankles were like in serious pain. Like somebody was like breaking them. Like it was like, oh my God. And that was the only reason why my body was like telling me to get the fuck out of there. But besides that, once I get to that 2-minute mark, I was like, okay, it's cool. I'm not cold anymore, but this really hurts. So I ended up doing the 3 minutes 2 times. The first time I actually went a little bit over, probably maybe like 4 minutes. And then did the sauna. The sauna was at like 240, and it was a wood burning one. That was nice.
So how, like when you got out of the cold plunge, right, especially at that temperature, like how we get out of the cold plunge usually, and like, I don't know, I feel amazing. Like I feel like I just got a hit of dopamine and I'm just like so energized. Like, how did you feel after?
I never really feel like that.
Really?
Right after. I'm just like, okay, that's cool. It usually takes some time. Like after I do the whole thing, like the whole process for like an hour or 2 hours, and then I come out of there, clean up, and then I'm doing whatever, then I'm like, yeah, I feel good, It's not an immediate thing for me though. So, and then getting out of it down there, it was like 80 degrees.
Well, getting out must have been so easy.
It was like cool. And then you like walk right over to the sauna and then you're in 240 degrees, So no, it was a cool experience. It was all outdoors.
What were you, like when you were in there, besides feeling this pain, right, that you were talking about, Like, what was going through your mind? Like, I feel like when I've done the cold plunges, I'm thinking so many different things, but then it like funnels down to like one thing.
Breathing.
And and all I'm doing is I'm just like either actually sometimes I'm like not even thinking, I feel like, which is wild, but I feel like I'm focused on something, whether it's like a bubble in the water or like just a section of the water, and I'm staring at it, and then I just literally kind of feel my body almost like floating. It's like I go into this like meditative state for a minute.
By the way, everybody, Aaliyah can do like a 50-degree cold plunge for like 20 minutes. Like, she's insane. Yeah, no, there's always like that focusing. Like, first it's always like about, ultimately I think it all becomes about the breathing, really. Because if you're not, you don't have like some sort of like something going on, at least initially, then it's hard. You're just like, oh my God, I want to get out of here. You know, because you're thinking about,
not even that too. It's like when you're not breathing, it's almost like, you know, when you kind of have like anxiety, let's say, right? And maybe it's like a like moderately panicked kind of feeling, right? But rather than start breathing in a calm and steady and healthy way, if you're breathing out of your mouth, or if you're breathing like, oh my God, right? All that's doing is just creating way more chaos, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to actually heighten the panic, and now you're going to be in a full-blown panic attack, right? So when the body goes into that water, you have to understand the body isn't like in shock, and everything's like, right? So you have to implement something that's steady, consistent,
that you can
flow
focus
it
on.
exactly, that you can focus on, just to calm all of that down. So I also think, though, that not even just the breathing, because I think that the breathing obviously is a huge piece, but like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like for myself, like there was also a level of like a mild level of like disconnect or like dissociate. Like I literally like wasn't like, I was there and I knew everything going on around me, and I was present, so I wasn't completely dissociated or anything like that, but I definitely like disconnected.
In a way, you have no choice.
You
because
have to.
you're in like survival mode.
Right. You absolutely have
you're
to.
mentally committing, like, I could get out of this thing at any moment and be perfectly fine, but I'm forcing myself to stay here. And then your brain's like, what do you mean?
What's happening? Yeah.
And then that's mind over matter type of thing, right?
Right. So I feel like the breathing comes in the very beginning when you first get in.
That first minute, you're
because
like,
your body's in shock. So you're like, oh my God, right? So that breathing comes in. I just kind of do like an in through the nose, out through the mouth kind of breathing, and that works for me. And I know that you did the Wim Hof method.
Well, that was another thing I was going to bring up with this too.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah. But then after I get through that stage of breathing, and then like my body kind of gets numb, but I think I actually disconnect at that moment, and then I'm just like, I'm just kind of sitting in a bath. That's it.
After like 3 minutes, that's what you're kind of doing.
Oh, totally.
But I'm telling you, the ice is a whole other world, though.
I'm sure. Yeah, I haven't done the ice. Okay,
and
so
apparently, like there's no extra benefits for staying in longer
past 3 minutes, right?
Past a certain point. Yeah.
What's the Wim Hof method of breathing, just in general? Because I feel like this is a method not only to be used with cold plunges, right? But it's a method to be used, I feel like, in any situation where, let's say, the body or the brain is thrown off into this like very chaotic, anxious or whatever state, and you could implement this breathing method.
It ends up being like a real mental thing. So like, I mean, Wim Hof developed this breathing technique because his wife committed suicide and he was in a very depressed state. And
oh wow, okay,
yeah,
I didn't know.
But and then he implemented the cold water. But
during his healing process, like
there was just something that was like calling. You've never watched the documentary? It's amazing.
No, but
Wim Hof has a documentary, and you did watch. I mean, I think you fell asleep halfway through. But no. Then he like there was something calling him to like the cold water or something. So so this guy Tex, he's got this company out in Orlando called Primeval something cold plunge or something like that. Anyways, he's like a former Marine. And then he also not only does like the Wim Hof breathing thing, he also trains people to like train underwater. So like holding their breath and like
in the cold plunge,
yeah,
like underwater.
no, not in the cold
Okay.
plunge, like in a big pool. So they'll be like carrying like weights around underwater.
So he's training people for what?
These are just things that he does. He's also like a personal trainer. And and he's got this whole mobile sauna, cold plunge thing. So it's a combination of everything that he does. But anyways, so he taught us the Wim Hof method, and it was actually really cool because he has this music that's like it's almost like it's kind of like tribal music, and he's got that on in the background. And the way that you breathe is like you breathe in, and then it's like.
Oh, so it's going with the
and you're going with the beat. Boom.
Yeah,
and then everybody is doing the exact same thing. And then that's when you start getting into this like
meditative state.
You're literally meditating. It was great. I popped in and out of it a few times. We were outside, so there was like these gnats, and I was allowing those to bother me.
If that would have drove me freaking nuts.
yeah. But man, if that was like inside, I would have gone deep into like meditation.
Yeah.
Deep. Yeah, then there was these different things, and then he'd basically have you hold your breath. So it'd be blow all the air out and then hold it there for like 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Like as long as you can, but I don't know how long it was, but I held my breath the whole time that he was saying to hold it.
3 minutes.
I don't know if it was 3 minutes, but it was definitely over a minute, I would say, for myself. He thought I died.
Did he?
He was like, I saw you over there. I didn't see anything moving after. Like, I was like, yeah, no, I was just in the zone because I would like just breathe out. And this is after the tribal stuff. So I was kind of in that world, you know. And then he'd have you take a deep breath in, and then you hold that for like a minute or two or whatever, right? And then I'll say like the whole thing, that especially the is like a workout for your lungs. And I didn't realize how much my lungs needed a workout because they were like, there's still like I could feel
like soreness.
Yeah, like a lung muscle soreness. Like, but if I keep doing it, I feel like my lung capacity can expand. I'm sure it does. You know, that's why people train to like hold their breath underwater and stuff, because it's like a muscle in there, you know.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to utilize this. I'm going to read more about this method, but I'm going to utilize it with tribal music, some music that I use for ketamine sessions. And in sessions with my patients, I'm going to teach them that so that they can actually do it to be in sync with the music, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be an amazing, like, grounding. Yeah, definitely.
In through the nose, and then you just like let out. It's like an assertive like sniff in and then blow.
You know what's interesting though is that I feel like that's how I breathe when I get into the cold water anyway. It's very fast like that. It's just like instinct. I don't breathe like slow and long. I'm like
But what he's also part of this is like not breathing just into your chest, like really like like in from the gut, you know?
So you really, so with that pace of,
you're going deeper than that. You're not pulling in enough. It's like as much as you can, as fast as you can in.
Wow, that's really intense, actually.
Yeah, and you do that for like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's intense. Okay. I actually feel like I just got lightheaded for a second.
You do.
Okay.
You can. You should definitely not be like standing up while you're doing this.
Wow. Yeah, that really just made me lightheaded. Okay. Oh, that's intense.
The first like minute into it, I'm like, oh shit. Like this is like, it felt like I was like going like had weights, and I was just like lifting. And you know, you're like, even if it's like 20 pounds or like 10 pounds, it's like eventually your arms are going to be like tired. And that's kind of how my lungs felt when I kept doing it. But then you keep doing it, you just kind of get used to it.
Wow, that feeling of just that lightheadedness is like a mild feeling of like when you just did a whippet.
I wouldn't know anything about it. I don't know anything about that.
When you do it back in the day, when we were teenagers doing whippets,
Yeah.
you would take that first hit and you're just like kind of like in this like dizzy, but not like in a bad way, like just kind of like, whoa, I'm really.
Here's something I want to play.
Right.
So this is part of his documentary back in the day, and I hope it kind of like explains a little bit. So this is Wim Hof.
Like his stomach. Look how deep his stomach's going.
Oh yeah,
in.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right, you're breathing. It's like from your stomach with those deep breaths, and like, oh my gosh, that takes a lot of practice to do.
So if you guys haven't seen this, you guys got to watch this documentary, including you, Aaliyah.
Using a combination of cold immersion, breathing techniques, and mental focus, anyone can accomplish feats that were previously thought to be impossible.
De vraag natuurlijk aan deze tafel is, kunnen wij dat ook wat u kunt? Ja, en ik ben nu in de staat om op kamertemperatuur mensen gewoon, normale mensen, middels relatief makkelijke technieken in relatief korte
Well, does he speak English? He's from
like the Netherlands or something.
Right.
All right, well, picked the wrong clip. Anyways,
This is what happens when we prepare.
This is when I'm just like winging it, like
Well,
it
this
just
is why
looked
we
like a
need
good
someone.
clip.
This is why we need someone who's just right there. Pull that clip.
Yeah, well,
Run that clip.
got money. Got money. But basically, no, you got to watch the documentary. They actually injected Wim Hof with like a disease.
Oh,
and he actually fought it off himself.
This you told me, yeah.
Through these breathing techniques, through the meditation, through the cold plunge thing.
Interesting.
They've done all kinds of studies on this guy. And the crazy thing about Wim Hof is he has been able to replicate it in other people. Like he can train people to do this. It's not just him.
He just said he could train people in a week.
Yeah.
That's what he just said in that clip.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how his wife killed herself?
I think she jumped out of a building.
Jumped out of a building?
I believe so.
See, that's another thing, right? So remember last night we were talking. I was giving you some information on all the different ways of suicide and what they all mean. In terms of like what like message that's really giving off and what it's saying. Jumping out of a building. I haven't really dissected that one before because I don't obviously get patients that I'm talking to that have jumped out of a building, right? So that's a lot. That's like a really loud one too, because that's also public. Like that's a public one, right? Like if someone sees you, right, like up in a building outside, someone's going to stop and be like, oh my God, right now you have a whole scene out there.
You're going to land somewhere. And it's not going to be like in some hidden area.
No, but now you have a whole scene out there, right?
Well, if you jumped off a bridge, then,
a bridge is different. There's no,
right.
Well, unless you're doing it like during the day and then there's like the bridges being used constantly. But most people I feel like who jump off bridges probably aren't jumping during if it's active.
Yeah, maybe there's different scenarios too. Like if you're jumping off a bridge and at nighttime or wherever, you're really not seeking any kind of like attention. It's more for yourself. Like you're just like, this is what I want to do. And maybe they want to go out with like at least one last exhilarating something, maybe.
Yeah, that one I haven't dissecting jumping off a bridge and jumping out of a building. Yeah, those
I feel like it's fairly rare, but I have no idea.
It's not rare out here.
No, I mean rare for somebody to jump out of a building.
Like
in a city, and then land on the main street. Like that would be like, hey, just want to let you know this is what I'm doing.
I mean, I haven't. I have no idea, but I know out here in Rhode Island, unfortunately, it's quite common for people to jump off the bridge. Right? That there's a big bridge out here. I said unfortunately, did I? Sorry if I did. I meant unfortunately. But there's a certain bridge out here that's a very well-known bridge that apparently is a common bridge that people jump off of out here.
The Newport Bridge?
Could be. I don't know, but I've heard from patients and from like just doing my own research. Like this is like it's like a big thing. And also in people who live in, what is that, Bristol?
Bristol?
people who live in Block Island or something like that. What's the place where it's like you have to take a ferry there and then
Yeah,
they're like
Block
really
Island.
isolated during the winter?
Yep, Block Island.
And there's lots of depression. It's really common out there for suicide as well. How we got there, but man, okay.
Trying to look for another clip, but
You're not going to find it right now.
let's
The
forget
best
about
one, you might as well forget it.
there it is again. I wonder. Yeah, this is probably the same one.
Yeah.
Speaking a different language.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live did a skit on him, it looks like.
Oh my god. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a great experience, and I would definitely do it again. You know, David, our friend David, is actually thinking about like putting together, you know, his own thing out there.
And this is mobile, right? So if anybody wants this service,
this particular one is mobile, yes, and it's in the Orlando area.
I gotta tell you, that would be pretty cool. Like for like the right, you know, like the right, like if let's say someone just had like a really great house, but that just had like, you know, nice like amount of land, right? So big enough so that you're not like all clumped together, right? That would be a dope party.
Yeah.
Like if somebody was like, hey, having a party, having a cold plunge sauna party at the house, and it was a mobile thing and they did everything, sold. I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually pretty genius.
Yeah, it was nice. Like we had like David bought this outdoor shower thing that you can kind of it's like a bamboo thing.
Yeah.
So we had that out there, so you kind of rinse off before you go in the cold plunge, and no, it was cool. Had the music going, good vibe, good people, and then you had a little chill area where you could kind of like take a break in between.
Did you guys do yoga? Because you had yoga outside. I wasn't sure.
No, that's where we were doing like the breathing stuff before we got in the cold plunge.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love a whole situation. Like we start with yoga. Maybe after yoga, we do like some like, I don't know, Tai Chi. Maybe after Tai Chi, we do then get into like this breathing thing, right? Then we do the cold plunge. Then we do the sauna. And then we end with another just meditation. Or we end with just a really great ohms, you know, just ohms are really great to end with, you know.
How much would you pay for that?
If it was like, let's say someone sent me a invite, right?
Mm-hmm.
For an event, and it was like from 10 a.m. 10 to 1.
Mm-hmm. So
and what you get is you get the yoga, Tai Chi, you get breathing thing, taught how to do the, like, let's say the Wim Hof method, right? Then you do the cold plunge, then you do the sauna, then after that you end with like a nice meditative thing.
So just one ohms, cycle, right? That's it. Cold plunge, then sauna.
No, not just one cycle. Like you can do it.
That's why I love you. You know, you don't really think about the timing of things. Like,
so then like, maybe it would have to be longer then.
Yoga's like an hour.
Okay, that's fine. So it would have to be then a 10 to 11, 12, 1, 2, 10 to 3.
Okay, so then you're looking at 5 hours.
Okay, 10 to 3. I would pay. Well, so this is like, what do I want to pay, or what you know what I'm saying?
What would
like
you pay? What would you pay for something like that?
I wouldn't mind paying.
What would you assume that would cost? I guess.
I'm so bad with this because I'm bad with.
She'd be like $1,000. I don't know.
But if someone sent it to me and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do this? It's $200." Da 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 da. I would do it.
200. Okay.
For from 10 to 3, I get that whole entire thing, and it's at someone's house. It's comfortable. We get like, you know, like a cool vibe going on. And it's just like a good group of people and energy. Yeah.
Now during that time, everything needs to be on point, though. Correct? Would you say so?
No. Everything. I mean, like from the time that I get there,
it's
it needs to be an experience.
Yep.
It needs to be an experience.
The music is already on.
The music is on. It's relaxing energy. Maybe they even have some, I don't know, tapestry or something like white or flowy or whatever. It's like you're walking into the heavens. I want to walk. I want to walk into the heavens. Okay.
Yeah.
And then just have like nature and this and that. Like absolutely, yes. It needs to be on point.
I agree. And that's what, you know, that's what I was really thinking this was, but it was more of a, Now, mind you, it was only like $60 or $65, right?
Okay.
And it was a bunch of guys. So, we're out there.
Right, but if I'm paying $200, I would want like
Right. If you're paying more, everything has to be like on point for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I would
love that shit. Yeah.
I would definitely do
point.
it. Man, I wish someone out here had something like that going. That's actually pretty cool.
We could do it.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to host anything. I don't
Yo, you sound just like David. I swear to God, he's so good at doing all that and putting it all together. He comes up with these ideas just like her, and then he's like, I was like, well, you should just do that. He's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nope, not me. I'm just the person. I just want to have an idea and then just give it to someone and then have them do it. That's just what I want. I don't like having to like do all that stuff.
Right. You just want to enjoy that. You want somebody else to do that.
Here's the idea.
Enjoy it. You'll pay the $200. You'll be the first one to pay the $200.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. But we have to wrap up because I have to go to work.
Yay.
Which I'm actually really excited for because Wednesdays are group days and I love doing group.
We'll try to be back here again on Sunday. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll
maybe
try.
Sunday morning, maybe.
Well, Sundays are looking better now because Wayla's back in town.
Yeah.
So
Wayla's back.
Whenever Wayla's back in town, guys,
that's the only reason why we can do this right now.
We have right. If you've noticed, we've had no distractions. not a dog, not a kid, nothing.
Nope. Great having Wayla around.
All right. Well, I hope everyone have a great rest of your Wednesday. Man, this weekend's going to be great. We got fights coming up this weekend. Saturday, huge fights. UFC, if you're into it, huge.
O'Malley
big.
and
Harrison and Pena. And for the first time, I'm actually excited to see a Pena fight only because I can't
you want to see her get beat up?
Stand her. I just can't. It's like, there's just, she's so like overly conceited and just like her
a lot of confidence.
Her ego is so elevated that I'm like, man, like just bring it down just a little bit. And then she says things that aren't even like true. Like you're the best in the whole entire. No, you're not. Amanda Nunes is the GOAT. We know that.
She just says that because she's got the belt.
So annoying.
It's only because Amanda retired.
Anyway, Kayla Harrison, I know you're never going to really watch this or see this, but if you do, good luck. I hope you win.
You never know.
And then we got, what else do we got? We have like an orientation for kindergarten. Orientation for kindergarten going on this weekend, which is exciting. And then we have a pool party, which is exciting.
Yeah, summertime is beginning. Finally, it's like literally just now. It's not even 80. It hasn't even hit 80 degrees out here yet. One time.
Tomorrow's going to be 80.
Tomorrow's the first day.
I think today. I think today's hitting 80.
Yeah. It took all the way to June.
Here we are. And then next week is our 5K.
Although it was a nice May though. We had like a decent May.
It was a great May. Great
we
May
had 70s, 60s,
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm ready for like 80s, like all the time.
I do have to get a new wardrobe though, like a new summer wardrobe.
I hate all my clothes.
Like
everything.
So
I hate everything I own.
Anyway, we're just going to complain. All right. So let's wrap this up. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your week. Sending love.
See you later.
Bye.
Hold on. Gotta shut it.